You tell everyone your plans. You broadcast your every move. You shout your intentions to the world before you have even taken the first step. And that is exactly why you fail. Real strength is not found in noise. It is found in the void. The ancient samurai understood that power leaks when the mouth is open. To rebuild yourself into something dangerous and disciplined, you must learn the art of subtraction. You do not need to add more. You need to remove what is making you weak. And you must do it without an announcement. A warrior does not tell the world he is sharpening his blade. He simply lets it cut. These are the 10 habits you must kill today in total silence. 1. The poison of complaint. The first habit you must mercilessly banish is the addiction to complaining. When you complain about the weather, the traffic, or the incompetence of others, you are not just venting frustration. You are publicly admitting that you have absolutely no control over your own emotional reality. You are broadcasting to every predator in the room that your inner peace is cheap and easily broken by the slightest inconvenience. A man who complains is a man who is confessing that he is too weak to endure the environment he is in. Consider the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius. He ruled Rome during wars, plagues, and betrayals. Yet in his private meditations, he never complained about the weight of the crown. He wrote, "Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." He understood that complaining creates a feedback loop of victimhood. If you vocalize pain, you validate it. If you remain silent, you contain it. And eventually, you master it. Neurologically, complaining rewires your brain for negativity. Research shows that synapses that fire together wire together. Every time you articulate a problem without offering a solution, you are physically building a thicker neural highway toward depression and helplessness. You are training yourself to scan the horizon for threats and annoyances, rather than for opportunities and victories. This habit turns your mind into a trash can for negativity, instead of a weapon for execution. Stop narrating your suffering to people who do not care or cannot help you. Here is your protocol. For the next 7 days, wear a rubber band on your wrist. Every time you catch yourself complaining out loud, snap it against your skin. Swallow the difficulty in total silence, no matter how bitter it tastes. Let the frustration burn inside your chest and use that rising heat as nuclear fuel for action. Transform the energy of the complaint into the energy of the solution. 2. The trap of justification. Eliminate the desperate need to explain yourself to everyone around you. You waste precious hours of your life trying to justify your decisions, your diet, or your discipline to people who do not understand your path and who likely never will because they are committed to mediocrity. When you try to explain your vision to a blind man, you do not help him see. You only lose your own focus. The sheep will never understand why the lion hunts. Explaining it is a waste of the lion's breath. Miyamoto Musashi was often criticized for his unorthodox style, for using 2 swords, for arriving late to duels, for looking unkempt. He never wrote letters apologizing or explaining his strategy to his critics. He simply won. He understood that in the world of men, results are the only language that matters. If he had stopped to explain why he fought the way he did, he would have been cut down. His silence was part of his armor. It made him unpredictable and terrifying to his enemies. When you over-explain your choices, you are subconsciously seeking permission from the tribe to be who you are. This is an evolutionary reflex. We fear being cast out of the group. But to be a leader, to be a high-value man, you must override this reflex. You must be willing to be misunderstood. A samurai acts with such absolute conviction that his movement is the only evidence required. He understands that seeking validation through explanation is a leak of power. Let your undeniable results be the only explanation you ever offer. Work in the dark, stay silent about your methods, and let your massive success make the noise for you. The protocol of silence is simple. When someone questions your new habits, offer a simple, "This is what I do now," and change the subject. Do not debate. Do not persuade. Just execute. When you finally succeed, your results will scream so loud that no explanation will ever be needed again. 3. The servant's awakening. Stop checking your phone the very second you wake up. This is the habit of a servant, waiting for orders from a master rather than a king ruling his domain. When you open your eyes and immediately scroll through messages, emails, or news, you are allowing the chaos of the world to dictate your emotions before your feet have even touched the floor. You are surrendering your sovereignty before the day has even begun. Think of the samurai waking in his barracks. His first moments were not spent listening to the gossip of the village. They were spent in zanshin, a state of relaxed alertness. He checked his weapons, he aligned his breath, he prepared his mind for death. If he had started his day distracted by trivialities, he would have been slow to draw his blade when the attack came. Your phone is the modern triviality that dulls your blade. It scatters your attention, which is your most valuable weapon. You are training your brain to be reactive instead of creative, flooding your system with cortisol and other people's agendas. You are selling the most valuable hour of your day, the hour where your subconscious is most open, to advertisers and influencers who do not care about your soul. You are starting the day on the defensive, parrying attacks instead of launching your own. This dopamine priming sets a frantic tone that ruins your ability to do deep work for the rest of the day. Banish this weakness with extreme prejudice. Claim the first hour of the day exclusively for your own mind. Here is the rule. The phone stays in another room or on airplane mode until you have completed your morning kata, whether that is exercise, meditation, or reading. This is the time to forge your spirit in silence, to visualize your battles, and to sharpen your intent. If you cannot be alone with your own thoughts for just 10 minutes in the morning without reaching for a glowing screen, you are not a free man. You are an addict in chains. 4. The comfort of gossip. Kill the habit of gossiping immediately. Weak men talk about people. Strong men talk about ideas, strategies, and empires. When you lower yourself to speak ill of others behind their backs, you are signaling to the world that you have absolutely nothing of value going on in your own life to discuss. It is a confession that your own life is so empty that you must fill it with the debris of someone else's life. In the Hagakure, the book of the samurai, it is written that a warrior should be careful with his words, for a single loose word can bring shame. Gossiping was seen as a feminine trait, unworthy of a man who carried steel. The samurai focused on Makoto, sincerity and truth. Speaking about others' flaws was a distraction from the ultimate goal, perfection of one's own character. To judge another is to forget that your own armor has cracks. Every minute you spend discussing someone else's failures is a minute you stole from your own potential victory. It is a cheap distraction, a pathetic way to feel momentarily superior without doing any of the actual hard work required to be better. If you have time to dissect and judge another man's life, it is definitive proof that you are not working hard enough on your own. Gossip is the rust of the mind. It corrodes your focus and stains your character. Keep your mouth shut about others, regardless of what they do. The protocol is strict. If a conversation turns to gossip, you have two choices: silence or departure. Do not participate. Do not nod. Focus that energy entirely on sharpening your own blade and building your own legacy. Let others talk. Let them waste their breath on shadows while you silently build a reality that they will one day have to reckon with. 5. The hunger for validation. Banish the pathetic seeking of external validation. Stop asking, "Is this good?" or "Am I doing this right?" or "Do you like my idea?" hoping for a pat on the head from society. This is the behavior of a child seeking a parent, not a warrior seeking a conquest. If you need the world to tell you that you are worthy, you will never be free, because the world can withdraw that worthiness at any moment. Musashi lived as a ronin, a masterless samurai. He had no lord to please, no court to impress. He lived in caves, he didn't bathe often, and he didn't follow the fashion of the time. Yet, he was the greatest. Why? Because his validation came from the perfection of his cut, not the applause of the audience. He knew that the crowd is often wrong. The crowd cheers for the gladiator who dies beautifully, not the one who survives efficiently. Musashi chose survival and mastery over applause. Detach yourself completely from the opinion of the herd. When you rely on praise to keep you moving, you simultaneously give the world the power to stop you with a single word of criticism. You become a puppet, and society holds the strings. You must develop an internal scorecard that is far stricter, far more brutal, and far more honest than anything the world can impose on you. You must be your own judge, jury, and executioner. If you are right, you know it in your bones. If you are strong, you feel it in your actions. That is enough. Stop trading your autonomy for the cheap coin of other people's approval. Practical step: create a private journal. At the end of the day, assess yourself. Did you live by your code? If yes, that is your validation. If no, fix it tomorrow. Walk your path with your head high, regardless of who is watching or clapping. 6. The premature announcement. Stop announcing your goals before they are fully achieved. Silence is the guardian of true ambition. Neuroscience shows that telling people your plans gives you a premature dopamine hit, tricking your brain into feeling the satisfaction of the result before you have done a single minute of the work. This is called identity symbolization. When you talk about being a writer, you feel like one, so you stop writing. Sun Tzu, in The Art of War, taught that all warfare is based on deception. He advised generals to be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. If you broadcast your strategy, the enemy prepares. In life, the enemy is resistance, sabotage, and the envy of others. By announcing your moves, you give these forces a target to attack. You dissipate the pressure that should be driving you forward. This psychological trick kills your drive to actually execute. You feel the high of the victory without the sweat of the battle, and your motivation evaporates. You become a man of words, not deeds, satisfied with the fantasy of success rather than the gritty reality of it. You see this everywhere, people posting day 1 at the gym who quit by day 3. The noise consumed their energy. Keep your ambitions buried deep in the dark. Protect your plans like a classified military secret until they are fully executed and irreversible. Let the pressure build inside you like steam in a boiler engine. Do not open the valve by talking. Let the pressure drive the piston of action. Let the work be done in the shadow. The shock of your success should be the very first time people hear about your plan. 7. The ghost of the past. Remove the debilitating habit of regretting the past. You replay old mistakes, embarrassments, and failures in your head, thinking this is reflection, but it is actually self-torture. It is a ghost haunting a living man, preventing him from engaging with the reality in front of him. You cannot fight the battle of today if your mind is stuck in the defeat of yesterday. Musashi wrote in his precepts, the Dokudo, "Do not regret what you have done." This is profound. He killed men, he made mistakes, he likely lost friends, but he understood that regret is a form of arrogance. It assumes you can change what has already been written in stone. You cannot. The past is dead. To carry the corpse of your mistakes is to weigh yourself down in a duel for your survival. Regret is a thief that steals your present moment. It anchors you to a version of yourself that no longer exists and keeps you trapped in a cycle of shame. From a psychological perspective, rumination creates anxiety and freezes action. The antidote is radical acceptance. Acknowledge the mistake, extract the data, and discard the emotion. It is simply data for the next algorithm of your life. Learn the tactical lesson in 1 second. Cut the emotional cord immediately and never look back. Your eyes must be fixed on the horizon, not on the grave. Practical drill. Write down your biggest regret on a piece of paper. Read it once, then burn it. Watch it turn to ash. That is what the past is, ash. It cannot hurt you unless you breathe it in. The only thing that matters is what you do with the blade that is in your hand right now. 8. The cheap dopamine drip. Eliminate the consumption of cheap dopamine from your life. You know exactly what this is. The sugary junk food, the mindless scrolling of videos, the pornography, the substances. These are not relaxing habits. They are heavy chains that bind your potential. They represent the comfort of the rust that destroys the shine of the steel. In feudal Japan, a samurai's diet and lifestyle were austere. Rice, fish, vegetables, training, meditation. They knew that excess pleasure made the spirit weak. Today, you are bombarded by superstimuli that no ancient warrior ever faced. Your brain was not designed for TikTok or infinite porn. These inputs hijack your reward system, making normal, hard work feel painfully boring. You are voluntarily sedating yourself to avoid the pain of growth. They dull your edge, fog your mind, and make real life feel gray by comparison. A man who cannot control his lower impulses and is enslaved by his own biology can never command respect from others or himself. If you cannot say no to a cookie or a click, how can you say no to fear when death is on the line? Discipline begins with what you put into your body and your mind. Starve these habits until they wither and die. You must reset your brain's reward system to find deep pleasure in difficulty, in struggle, and in mastery, not in passive consumption. This is a dopamine detox. Embrace boredom. Boredom is the space where creativity and drive are born. A warrior does not numb himself with easy pleasure, he sharpens himself with calculated discipline. Make the hard things feel good again by removing the easy things that make you weak. 9. The exit ramp of blame. Stop blaming your circumstances for your position in life. It is seductive to point at the economy, your parents, your bad luck, or the government. But blame is simply the exit ramp off the road of responsibility. It is a coward's way of saying, I surrender. It is the distinct marker of a slave mentality, believing that your life is dictated by masters you cannot see. Epictetus, the Stoic slave who became a master philosopher, taught that we cannot control what happens to us, only how we respond. He was lame in one leg, yet he was more powerful than the kings of his time because he owned his mind. If a slave can refuse to blame his master for his happiness, you have no excuse to blame the economy for your lack of wealth. Blame makes you weak because it outsources your power. As long as your failure is someone else's fault, you do not have to do anything to fix it. That is a comfortable place to be, and it is also fatal to your growth. It hands the keys of your life to forces you cannot control, leaving you helpless and bitter. The blamer waits for a savior. The warrior saves himself. Banish the word because from your vocabulary when explaining your failures. You are where you are because of who you are and because of the choices you have made or failed to make. Embrace this brutal truth because it is the only truth that gives you power. Accept total radical responsibility for everything in your orbit. Even if the situation is not your fault, it is your life to fix. The moment you take ownership is the moment you gain the power to change the outcome. 10. The myth of the perfect time. Finally, banish the paralyzing habit of waiting for the perfect time. It does not exist, and it never will. You are waiting for the stars to align, for the fear to go away, for the bank account to be full, for the motivation to strike. This is just procrastination wearing a mask of wisdom and prudence. The samurai concept of ima, now, teaches that the present moment is the only reality. The past is a memory. The future is a dream. To wait for the future is to die without living. In a duel, if you wait for the perfect opening, you will be struck down by an opponent who creates his own opening. Hesitation is the seed of defeat. The perfect time is a fairy tale told by fearful men to justify their inaction. The conditions will never be perfect. The blade will never feel light in your hand. The enemy will never wait for you to be ready before he attacks. Every moment you wait is a moment the enemy, laziness, gains ground. Real warriors attack when they are scared, when they are tired, and when they are unprepared. They make the conditions perfect by their sheer force of will. Start now with what you have, where you are, in total silence. Action is the only truth that matters. Do not wait for the path to clear. Clear the path by walking it. If you are waiting for a sign, this is it. If you are waiting for permission, you have it. The time is not coming. The time is going. Move. Conclusion. Silence is not empty, it is heavy. When you remove these 10 habits without making a sound, people will notice a change in your presence. They will not know what happened, only that you are different, that you are dangerous, that you are focused. But removing the bad habits is only half the battle. Once you clear the weeds, you must plant the seeds of steel. You have created a void, and now you must fill it with a code that cannot be broken. This is why I created 66 Days of Steel, the samurai method to forge absolute discipline. This is not a book to be read, it is a protocol to be executed. It guides you through the fire, hammer, and polish phases to ensure that the emptiness left by these bad habits is filled with unbreakable power. If you are ready to stop subtracting and start multiplying your strength, the link is in the pinned comment. Get the map, sign the contract, and let the reconstruction begin.